Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB, and you know what? I'm not on my own tonight. Tonight, I've got AJ with me. We got two initial people in here tonight. Hello, AJ.
Hey mate, how you doing?
I'm all right. How are you? Dying in the background from Bentley disease?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's good to be back.
I thought I'd get that in early if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, I'm sure you
And
have.
there it is. All right. We have a lot to cover tonight. Firstly, let's go through the Drivers' Championship. T. Jonas is still in first position after his debut win in Australia. He hasn't won anything since. Is he going to do a Keke Rosberg? Let's see. Then we have Peter Solheim in second, though both Saubers aren't here tonight. Then there's Linnell in third, so he's in a good position to have to charge up if he gets a good position in the race. Gaming Things in fourth, he's having a good time. Still not a podium though for him, a couple of fourth places in the last two races. Dio Bush is in fifth. He had a podium in the opening round, but nothing since. And obviously, after the last race, there was a big issue. Fredo, who's not here tonight, is in sixth place, and Farfborough is in seventh place. I think he may be in now or be joining us during qualifying. Smelly Badger is in eighth, and Widelow Billy is in ninth. Ice Bolt is rounding out in 10th. He's another hot topic to chat about in a moment. Zippo is down in 11th after his first drive in Bahrain. He's having a good time. Blood and Sands is in 12th, and Racing Podge is in 13th. Ricky, who is also not here tonight, is I think he's at work, so he's busy. Jade is questionable whether she's here tonight or not. I don't remember. And she's in 15th. We have a couple of spare places down in that. We have Sig, who still is yet to score a point in his McLaren career. The same with the Pirate, who's down in Williams. Okay, so we won't go through the team championship because I'm lazy. So let's get on to the interesting things right now. The interesting things is that last time out we had a few arguments after the race. Obviously Baku, there was a lot of DNFs. If you haven't seen the streams, I do recommend you watching it. It was wet and lots of things happened. So yeah, there was arguments, and both Mercedes drivers, Yuzi and Graham, have parted ways for the league. There's a little bit of animosity, but to be honest, the comments they were making were not important. If you want to know them, you want to ask me after the stream, just drop me a message, etc, etc. So that brings us into two new drivers, which is Threaten and Vanquish. If you watch the Premier streams, they're from Premier. They come down to GP2 because they, obviously being an hour ahead in Holland and Belgium, they need to have earlier times to race, and they are Zippo's pace. We did a test with them, and they are the same pace as Zippo, which is good. They're all sorted. So they're driving in the Mercedes and the McLaren now. And that also moves that someone else, Icebolt, moved from the McLaren to the Mercedes team after using Graham left. So it's an entirely new Mercedes team to rebuild and to push forwards, and a new McLaren driver, which should be fun. So here we ask a question to AJ, who's been hiding in the background all this time.
Mm.
When you come in mid-season like this, like these guys have to this GP2, which is a strong league by themselves, how do you feel?
I think it's quite difficult to come in mid-season because of the fact that you don't really know the pace of anybody. It's quite a difficult thing to do because of the fact that you've got to have a good mental strength to be able to kind of press on with the pace that you know you can show, but kind of being able to measure yourself up against everybody else. So yeah, it should be interesting how they deal with the pressure of having to perform tonight, and if they can do a good job.
It definitely is, and in another league that I commented on and AJ actually raced in, who's leading the championship there. Again, if you want to know more about that league, DM me or AJ himself, and we will send you links to the streams. Vanquish got, I think, P4 or was it P3 in the end in that league? It was around about that area, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So he's quick. He knows what he's doing. And I think P4 was best of the rest out there in that race. But still, right now we're heading to Spain. So this is a Spanish Grand Prix. I don't know any of the information because I was too busy reading too many things out. You already have a nickname on the SFR screens, mate.
Oh, do I?
Yeah,
What
Mr. Bentley.
Oh, Mr. Bentley, is it?
Mr.
Okay.
Bentley.
I can live with that.
Wasn't that character in Bob the Builder?
No, I hope not.
I think it was, you know.
Oh dear. So yeah, no, I think the fastest time around here, I think it said about 1:16, 1:16.3, 1:16.4, I think it said.
Yeah, should be interesting.
I think at the pace that these guys are driving and the pace that the cars can provide, it shouldn't be far off that. 1:17 is very possible here.
Yeah,
so yeah,
shouldn't be.
What we can do.
So we're just going to run through here in here tonight. We have Vanquish and Sig. Blood and Sands the Pirate, who obviously DNF'd his first time out. Zippo, Icebolt, Billy, Boosh, Gamey, Podge, Badger, Lee, and Threaten. Right now, I think Farfborough is downloading the update. We're unsure where Jade is right now. So, yeah, it should be interesting. Who has just gone out on track? Well, there's a Williams, and that would be Billy. Or it would be Pirate, one of the two. And someone else, too. Who is that? It's Blood and Sands. Look at that. Sterling Red Bull. So the Spanish Grand Prix track is it's difficult, yet it's kind of like an old mistress in Formula One now, isn't it?
Definitely. I think it's a long, lovely, sweeping track. It reminds me, it's got the kind of corners that can rival Suzuka in certain areas. And yeah, it's an absolute bitch on the back tyres. You've got to definitely, during the race, watch.
For lack of a better word.
Yeah, sorry.
It's alright. Yes. This track obviously controversially changed its final sector, which the MotoGP riders still use the original final sector, which is much like the first, as Billy's already retired. Ooh, that's difficult if you made a mistake that early in qualifying. Should be interesting to see what he can do from the back of the grid, though. So we're watching Blood and Sands wind up to start his lap.
Seems to have lost it on the back straight at some point. I think he must have just clipped the grass or something like that, because it's in the middle of the back straight. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he lost that one.
It would be, yes, but we don't have recount hammers. So going down, you know what? Believably, I think this is the longest run into turn 1 from the grid, isn't it?
Very close to. I think from the start finish line into turn 1, it's well, close to it. I think Mexico is probably slightly longer, but yeah. I
thought it was always going to be Spain. I think that they have a bit where Mexico is just a bit shorter. Oh, well, we'll work it out in a couple of weeks when Formula 1 actually goes to Mexico, so we can actually work it out. But it seems that Blood and Sands had a good enough first sector. No real wheel spin. He's running on the soft tyres as well, which is the slightly more durable set, the middle compound set of this we've brought this week. Seems very cold. Oh, that's a bit wide. Going a bit off track there.
Yeah, definitely. He's getting the most out of those corners when he goes around them. Full of confidence for his first flying lap.
He knows what he's doing, Blood and Sands. I saw he was up on practicing earlier. The Scotsman in the Red Bull, who seems to be having a very good time in that car. Seems to be enjoying it. Hasn't scored as many points as he wishes he could have. So he's coming around to end his lap now, taking that corner quite aggressively now onto the final corner, where Fernando Alonso mucked it up on the formation lap a few years back. Well, nearly 10 years back now, and a 1:19.5 is the opening bid. Who was it? It was the other. You know what? I think Zippo's next car, really. No, Smelly Badger. Oh, wow, that's eclipsed the time there. Do you reckon that was all just from that one corner where he lost it?
Yeah, it's absolutely possible. I mean, you can lose and find a load of time here, depending on just how you take certain corners. Especially, turns like turn 3, the long sweeping right-hander. If you can get that flat out, then that'll save you a massive amount of time through the lap. So even one turn can give you that amount of time back, definitely.
All right, here comes Invader Zippo to finish his lap. Now he's got it all sorts of wrong. At the final corner, he span it into the gravel trap, and that lap has been absolutely destroyed, and he's going to be frustrated. You know what? I've never seen someone crash there, but there's a McLaren coming down the straight now. He's got to make sure he's out of the way, but he has made himself out of the way. And I've just been informed that both sessions are dry tonight, unlike the race we had last week. And I think that was Threaten coming across the line doing a 1:19.8.
Yeah, Vanquish just coming along across the line with a 1:19.1 as well now.
Yeah, here comes Racing Podge, crosses the line to start. No, he doesn't. Ends his lap at 1:32.0, so I assume he had an accident or had a big-ass spin, much like Zippo. Yeah, he was still quicker than Zippo, because Zippo spent some time in the gravel. As Mr. Bentley kills himself. I'm going to stick with that nickname all the way through when I'm commentating on you next week now. Anyway, here's Lee Nell on the medium tyres, skating around just a little bit in the Toro Rosso DRS Open, and he crosses the line and goes for a 1:20.2, not 9.2. So that, you know, fills him with confidence with that pace on the medium tyres right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. If you're able to put together a lap that's maybe even just a second slower than the people that you're competing against, then yeah, you've got a really good chance of putting in a really fast lap when it comes to the software of the compound.
You know what? All the way through tonight, I think they fixed the engine glitch issue finally.
Yeah, no, I think there was, yeah, the update that's come out on the patch does fix that.
Zippo has retired, doesn't think he can do enough as Vanquish takes provisional pole position. Oh, on the medium tyres too!
Ooh, that's a very quick time.
Yeah.
I'll fill him with loads of confidence for the end of the session.
And there's Jade.
Sorry, I've only realised it's short qualifying.
Yeah, it has. It is short qualifying right now. So, I forgot to run through that. Anyway, I tell you what's happening right now is that T. Jonas, championship leader, is not here tonight, which is unfortunate for him. He's off on holiday, sipping margaritas or something in the sun. And that's okay. Okay, I found out why Zippo retired now. There is half a Toro Rosso on track that has now despawned, so he's going to be frustrated. No, so at this point, you reckon T. Jonas is having a nice holiday. He's going to load up the stream, see what we're doing, see that. He's going to think, oh dear, my championship's in trouble. But anyway.
He's coming around the last few corners. I think he's coming on to set a lap now. He's very close to the inside line for that last corner. And that's a 1:21.1. I think he must have made a bit of a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, I was following all lap. I think he just didn't particularly have a strong lap that time out. It seems that Icebolt is having that same issue. Where is Sig in all of this? The McLaren driver. Okay. I have a long message with lots of asterisks in from Zippo. It seems that his wheel stand has decided to play silly buggers again.
No, that's not good. Yeah, no, it keeps on resetting itself back to a certain setting, and then you have to change it again just to be able to play with this game. Yeah, no, that's very unfortunate. It's not good. Not good to see that happening.
It definitely is. And just a word on Jade Rios. She's in the session, yes, but she will not get the selector car. So whatever points she scores tonight will be transferred to the Force India team. Who have we got on a lap now? Let's have a look at Smelly... Oh, that's the wrong button. Smelly Badger, the man currently taking in P2. He's going to set his lap now. And no, you know what? We found one. It's an engine glitch, ladies and gentlemen. Why? You know what? I was going to say, let's take us through a lap with Smelly, but no... Not with the engine glitch on the car. Let's just stay as far away from the T-cam as possible.
Yeah.
So turns 1 and 2 here. You see quite a bit happen in turns 1 and 2 here. Most notably, Max and Kimi got taken out a few years back by Valtteri Bottas. I hate to say that because I'm a low-key Valtteri fan, but he. To be honest, 3 wide into that corner is never going to happen in this league. You don't want to see that at all, do you?
No, that's true. I mean, we ended up going 3 wide in the other league that I do, and that definitely didn't work very well. There's not a lot of runoff area that you can use out there, so yeah, it's better to kind of fall behind rather than try and attack back from the outside line. It'll be interesting to see what people do tonight, whether they do choose to back off or just go for it.
Yeah, well, no, in SpeedForce, they would go hell for leather, but I would too. Anyway, seeing Smelly Badger on the medium tyres has had a pretty stable lap. He's had a lot more grip than I expected. I thought he'd be skating around quite a bit.
Yeah, it gave me things just losing it on the last few corners, just out on the gravel there. I think he tried to take too much speed through that last few corners.
Yeah, he's lost a bit of front wing as well. So, we're going to go on board with Icebolt, who's a new Mercedes driver. I got to say, though, I nitpicked his helmet a bit last week, but it seems that that helmet does match the car quite a bit now. Why don't you take us through a lap of the Circuit Barcelona de Catalunya? Long words. As AJ knows it much better than I do.
So we're looking to get the best run out of this final corner, stay close to the inside line, and then run out wide. DRS wide open as we cross the start-finish line. So we're going all the way down here, almost to 200 miles an hour. We want to brake just after the 100 marker and into the first corner, keeping to both of the apexes, and then keeping the accelerator pinned all the way around this long right-hander as much as you can. You want to brake just after the Pirelli board, turn in hard to the apex, run all the way out to the left-hand side and all the way down. You want to brake hard, turning in third gear around here, and run it all the way out to the AstroTurf. Going down to this corner, you want to be conservative on the first corner and then absolutely punch it through the second corner. And ooh, he just hasn't done it there. And then you want to keep it pinned as much as possible through this right-hander, run out wide but not too much onto the gravel there. And then braking just after the 100 marker down into this very tight hairpin. And keeping over to the right-hand side of this corner before you get taken into this long sweeping right-hander, not going too far out on the AstroTurf there. Keeping to the apex into the last couple of corners down to the really slow chicane, not wanting to lose your front wing on either of those. And then getting the best momentum off the last corner and back into the DRS zone. And that is fifth, 119.0. Very nice lap.
It seemed to be a very stable lap. Thank you, AJ, for taking us through that. Apart from that little mistake at the initial corner, he seemed to have a pretty good lap there. It seems that he's very confident with that car. I think he's more happy. From what I know, Ice actually drives in cockpit cam as well, which is braver than I've ever done. Anyway, it seems that right now, with 5 minutes left to go to the session, we will run through our grid. We have Vanquish on pole position, ahead of Smelly Badger, ahead of Gamey Things in third position. Then Threaten, the new boy from Premiere, who's dropped down in P4, and Icebolt in P5, a new Mercedes driver. Blunt and Sands, the usual suspect, in P6, and Lee Nell in P7. Sig in P8, as Vanquish goes even quicker. Racing Podge in P9. Diabush in P10, the final points paying position. Outside the top 10, we have as the Pirate. What a lap! We're outside the top 10. We have Zippo, Billy, Farfborough, who joined midway through the onboard lap we went through, and Jade. So. The Pirate. Look at that.
Very nice lap. Although Vanquish is in the distance at the minute, 117.6. It's a very nice lap from him.
It is very quick, and I found another ranger glitch. Definitely is quick.
Putting it into the 118.5 there, going third.
So that must have just been from the issue he had at the corner, wasn't it? Oh, look at Threaten.
Seems like the track's just getting a little bit faster now. Everybody's getting a little bit more competitive and just being able to hook up their laps that bit better.
Lots of people saying to me now, chatter in the paddock is saying that super soft to mediums will not win this race. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I went for the soft to mediums for this race when I did it. I think the super softs are just too easily wearing, but also they do operate at a higher temperature, but also it's easier to get them to a too high a temperature. So yeah, they'll hit the 103, 104 degrees very easily, especially on a track like this. And so it just means that at that point you've got to back off. So the grip that they do provide, they don't provide with that kind of grip for very long anyway. So yeah, I think they are better on starting on the soft tyre and going on to the mediums at the end. So I think it is a one-stopper.
It definitely is, and advantage to the outside of the top 10 who now will know this information from us too. They will know what will be happening with all of that, so they can choose when to change the tyres around. But right now, 3 minutes left to go to the qualifying session. We are getting ready to what's this? Lots of chatter about about certain drivers. Right now, in the chat, I won't go into that because that's admin chat, and I shouldn't really look at it when I'm racing. But anyway.
Yeah, Blood and Sand just started a lap on the super soft tyres, so we'll see what he can make up on those. Seems like he feels like he can obviously be competitive on those tyres, and it's going to be much easier to put a pole lap in on those tyres, definitely.
Yeah, this track is, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, it's an older track in Formula 1, quite a cruel mistress on the rear tyres, and seems to sport some good luck. I would have loved some rain around here, but you know, I love rain anywhere. Tell you what, I always used to, when I was racing before I retired and got dramatic, I used to always find that I did a lot better in the wet than I did in the dry. I mean, I don't know if you have a preference, AJ?
I think, yeah, well, I mean, whenever I'm watching Lewis Hamilton, whenever it rains, I always know that he's going to do well. It's quite nice having the confidence to be able to push that little bit harder than everybody else. But yeah, I don't mind it when it rains. I'm pretty happy when it rains. I'm pretty happy with it when it's dry. I just yeah, I quite enjoy just competing with it, whatever happens. So, yeah. Wet's always fun. Always interesting to see what drivers can do in the wet conditions.
It definitely is, and we will get on to the USA Grand Prix as Diabush plops into a 120 dead into P10.
Just went all the way wide at turn 4, and he's just completely lost that lap now.
Tell you what,
bouncing off his car.
He won't have time to do another lap, I don't think, if he has to come into the pit lane.
No, I think those tyres will be ruined anyway once he's had to slow down and start another lap.
Definitely. We will, if the race lends itself to us, me and AJ will run through what we believe will happen in the USA Grand Prix coming up this weekend. Obviously, it'll be late at night for us Britons, even later for the people in Europe because, you know, time zones. But just to say, apparently what I've heard is that it's going to be quite wet like 2015. Obviously, Lewis won that race and won his championship there. It could be very dicey in the in real Formula 1, couldn't it?
Yeah, no, I'd love to see Lewis win a 5th championship. Definitely has deserved it this year. He's just been on a different level to everybody else. He's just absolutely world class the way he's driven this year.
He definitely has.
So, yeah.
Just something I want to bring your attention to before we continue that is the top 4 are still in the pit lane. And we got 30 seconds left to go. They are definitely not coming out for another lap. But look at that. The confidence they must have.
They've gone for the Red Bull Vettel strategy from 2012.
Get out of the car and watch qualifying.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's what Daniel Ricciardo tried as well. Oh, wait. Oh, that hurts.
His engine's normally knackered anyway.
Renault power. So Diabush finishes the lap, finishes, and he's in P10. No, Lee Nell has had an issue. He's retired. That's either him deciding he doesn't want to continue anymore, or that's more likely that the fact that the Toro Rosso have got even more bills to pay, as we were on board with Smelly Badger right now. Gamey Things, an absolute brilliant lap.
That was on the super soft tyre as well, so it means that Vanquish has done very well to get the time he got.
I've just been informed by my good friend Zippo to leave Danny Rick alone as Diabush gets pushed out, so that is unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. Smelly Badger retires, and that is our grid for the Spanish Grand Prix as I'm on board with Stig right now. So in pole position is Vanquish by quite a margin of soft tyres. Behind him is Gamey Things, who apparently will be struggling after lap 4. Shall see how the Briton can manage his tyres. Then the Pirate in P3, a good showing for the guy who crashed out in Baku. Then Threatened in P4, the newcomer who's having a good time in McLaren. Icebolt in P5, he seems to be best of the rest right now. He did 2 laps on his soft tyres. And then Racing Podge is in 6th. Lienel and Smelly Badger in 7th and 8th. Blood and Sands in 9th. And I think it was Sig in P10. Yeah, Sig in P10. Diabush in P11. Invader Sabo in P12. And I want to... Who was the last one? Billy, that's it. Billy in P12. No, P13. And then there's Jade and Farfborough who are joining us. You see that? I can remember. So you see if I got it right.
Yeah, you got it right.
Look at that. So, bit of a topsy-turvy grid. Back to seeing a Dutch flag at the top of the grid. Yeah, Billy's happy with driver of the day last week. Yeah, that's to mention. Billy was driver of the day last week in Baku. Had a brilliant timeout, had a good drive. So, should be very interesting. People talking strategy in chat. A lot to talk about the tyres. Obviously, people saying to start on the mediums for outside of the top 10. The medium tyres you don't really want to run on from my experience. The medium tyres just don't sort of work.
No, the medium tyres take a few laps to get up to temperature, which is a bit on the frustrating side. But I think everybody's going to have to use them at some point. They are the longest tyres. So yeah, I think you're going to have to use them at some point, no matter what the situation you're in.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously damage on lap 1 is still a factor. Teams bringing plenty of front wings, so they know that front wings are quite a thing in Formula 1. They normally disappear. So, as Mr. Bentley starts coughing.
Yeah.
That nickname is never going to stop. It's so funny.
Oh, great.
I'm going to find a picture of Mr. Bentley and send it to you now.
Oh, nice.
See, I abuse drivers who do commentary with me, and yet they still come back for more.
Yeah, great. I'm so glad I did this tonight.
You feeling better, love?
Oh, yeah, so much.
Yeah, if you don't know, me and AJ have both been feeling proper rotten for the past couple of weeks, but we're sort of back to fighting form now as we sit here and look at these drivers pulling off for the formation lap. Some drivers forgetting it's a formation lap, but still going fast. There we go. So, look at that. So we're going to run through the drivers we haven't actually seen, which is Zippo. Here is Zippo. Didn't see an onboard shot with him. There's Billy in the Williams. He seems to be comfortable on the soft tyres. Sorry, Farfborough, who's driving the Haas, but who will be scoring points for Red Bull. And Jade, who's driving the Sauber, but will be scoring points for Force India tonight. Look at that topsy-turvy strategy. Lots of people not going for the suggested strategy of the medium tyres. Sorry, as I try and remember everyone.
Yeah, definitely. So there's some interesting strategies out there. Dilution Invader, Zippo going for the medium tyres. I think that could play into their hands later on in the race when they become quite attacking, like closer to the end with the soft tyres.
It will do, but advice to both those drivers is try and stay out of trouble in the first couple of laps where your tyres come up to heat. Remember, your braking zones will be different to everyone else. Everyone else will be able to brake much later than you, and you'll be on cold tyres. Be careful, because you lose your wing, it's pretty much screwed your strategy over. The idea of this strategy is to do no stop at the start of the race. Oh, I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, I love a good race. Let's go for it.
Definitely. You see a couple of drivers being disqualified. So Vanquish, his first pole in GP2 ahead of Gamey Things, who is still hunting for his first win in GP2. The Pirate happy to be there in the second row with Threaten in P4, Icebot in P5, Racing Bot in P6, Linell in 7th, Badger and Blood and Sand in P8 and P9, and Sig in the top 10. Now 15 drivers about to go completely nuts around the circuit of Barcelona. I can't remember the full name because here we go to 5 red lights. I've got an awful camera angle, and I'm very excited to say that we're about to go racing here in SpeedForce, and lights around. The drivers are underway, and Jade has got a fantastic start from the back, already passing Billy and challenging for the lead. Gamey Things having to defend from everyone else, but look at Vanquish. He's absolutely flown away. Got a perfect start. Gamey Things is okay. Threaten, there's been something down there. Smelly Badgers has a spin. Icebolts has a spin. Fastballs has been. Racing Podge having a big spin. Let's go have a look at him. And he's in the gravel. It looks like he's got a puncher or something.
Yeah, the second McLaren.
Whoa, look in! Oh, whoa! Someone's in the back. Who's that? That's Icebot in the Mercedes. JVS, look who's in P5 after half a lap.
Yeah, Sigurd just seemed to overcook it into turn 1, just broke too late and went straight into the back of the person in front of him, and ended up losing half of his front wing and giving momentum to several drivers to go to the back of each other.
See, Fredden is fighting the Pirate ahead of him. Everyone is going nuts on lap 1. And lots of drivers having issues. Jade Rios having a good time. There's a Pirate locking up. There's a Renault trying to challenge and defend from Lee Nell. Contact though, I think that's Lee Nell's front wing disappearing off his car. Looked to be red. It might be a bit of it, but it's okay right now.
I think it was the bollard.
That may be a shovel. There is a bollard, a floppy at that corner. Excludes what I actually have to call it that as a marshal. So, coming around lap 1, Vanquish is leading by 1.7 seconds ahead of Gamey Things, who's ahead of the Pirate, who's having to defend from... Oh no! See, Fretton's got it all sorts of wrong at the final corner. The McLaren compatriot is in the pit lane right now on lap 1, but we're not going to focus on that. Where's Farfborough? Farfborough's getting passed by Smelly Badger. Farfborough's overcooked it into turn 1. What are you looking at, AJ?
Yeah, Smelly Badger, just looking at that one. Smelly Badger with a very nice, just up the inside of him and made it clean cut, straight past.
Look at Lee Nell, he's on the inside! He seems to have made body contact. It should be all right. Farfborough is defending like absolute worth, but he can break so much later in that corner. Right. Look, who's that? Who's that? What are you seeing?
That wide load Billy. Wide load Billy goes straight into the back of Farfborough. I think he goes alongside him, and he seems to have barged his way through and been able to get past him.
In your opinion, should that position be handed back as you see Fretton now trying to go down inside of the Toro Rosso?
I don't think so. I think it was all right. I think, yeah, it was just a bit scruffy.
See lots of people having issues. Here's Jade Rios going down the inside of Zippo. What a good move, not a bad move. Lee Nell's lost it though, and his teammate passes through.
Lee Nell just tried to go down the inside of Fretton, and Fretton was having none of it. Kept his line, but Lee Nell just seemed to lose it there. Nothing.
We're on board with Jade right now as Vanquish has absolutely stormed away. No, the Pirate has got past Gaming Things. Has Gaming Things made a mistake? No, he has not. Gaming Things is just having the rest of his nice. DLS is now been enabled as it is lap 3 here in Spain already, and I'm already going nuts as Gamey tries to break down, but he is going to start to struggle on those soft tires. Zippo and Jade still going at it.
Wide load Billy trying to get past Smelly Badger. Smelly Badger moved over to the right hand side just to defend, and wide load Billy didn't have an answer around the outside. The Smelly Badger's just gone wide and let Billy at the inside. Now Billy's got the position.
He's going to Farfborough. He's going to try and make it through. Look at that. He's through. Farfborough is through.
Yeah.
Seems once you get knocked out of the rhythm of this track, you are in trouble. Here is Lee Nell, who's trying to catch up to Blood and Sands. Blood and Sands seems to be skating around the track. They are both struggling. But remember, Lee Nell's had a few spins. Racing Podge is the one with the most damage on his tyres. Look at that. But still,
Lee now seems to be close to the back of Blood and Sand. I think Blood and Sand running quite wide there, but it doesn't seem like Lee now has an answer to his pace at the minute. We'll see whether he can find any way past him in the main straight.
I tell you who seems to be going. That might be why Smelly Badger's going backwards. He has got a missing end plate on his front wing.
That would explain it.
It definitely would.
Fretton and Farfborough and wide load Billy were all very close, and he peels off into the pit lane.
Definitely does, as Jade moves into P8 after starting plumb dead last. She's having a good race here in her good run in SpeedForce. As Gamey gets passed by Dyer boost. So you see that's the soft tyres weaning. Sector 2, who is that?
I think that's all of them getting
still Sector 2.
Each other.
Oh, it's Podge. The other Renault is not enjoying this track at all. He's struggling and he's knackered his soft tyres. All of this as Gaming Things is getting absolutely shattered. That's the super soft tyres dying.
Yeah, I think it's very easy for those super softs to be overheated. You go slightly too hot in some of the corners and get on the power too early on the way out. Those tyres are going to be cooking.
The way that Jade's managing to know, she seems to be doing all right. Remember, she did not do a qualifying lap on those tyres at all, so they're fresh. They should last at least another lap, at least, he says. But there's Threaten trying to get past Wide Load Billy as he made the move. It looks clean so far. Oh, they touch! Oh, they touch again! Oh!
He seems to have cut the corner but held on to the position.
Yeah, that should be handed back right there.
Let's see if he does.
Yeah, Fretton thinks it. Look at that. Okay, definitely now. He's getting the advantage there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
That definitely is one where you should hand back that position. You see every car stream through. There's Gaming Things pulling into the pit lane. His teammate up. Look at that, Fretton. Billy listening to us. Good man.
Good driving from him.
Definitely a good shout.
Spot, but at the same time, though, which is a bit unlucky for them.
Well, to be fair, he gained quite a large advantage on the pit lane in the final chicane. He would have, I think, lost that position anyway if he had handed back in that chicane. Still, Billy has got the pace right now, though. Here's Zippo trying to close up to Jade. Jade's tyres are waning. You can see the Sauber's back end is starting to move. You say that you shouldn't really look at Jade's arse, but yeah, he's still doing it. No, that was mean. I really shouldn't say that. But anyway, Jade is pushing her absolute heart out.
You had to make it weird, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, well, Mr. Bentley, go build a house or something.
Oh, Jade, back end going everywhere there. Zippo just staying calm, collected, and just being consistent, just following that round.
Meanwhile, I'm with his teammate. Blood and Sandy's going to make a move on Zippo. No, he doesn't. He pulls to the inside to defend from Lee. These two have been battling for 3 seasons now, and these two know how to battle each other. And Lee's going to get frustrated. Oh, but Blood and Sand's going to get even more frustrated. Look at that move! Right down the inside after Blood clouted a curve, and the silver Red Bull goes past the red Bull.
Yeah, Zippo being very patient here.
Oh, too patient! Way too patient! Oh, Franz Tost is going to be absolutely crying now. His drivers have made contact, and Lee, who's on the faster strategy, is in the worst position. Now Lee's got to defend from Zippo. They'll be talking in chat going, no, okay, I've got a damaged wing. Is Blood and Sand's going to try it? He does not. He's going, I've got a broken wing now. Okay, I'm going to try and go for the medium tyres next stop, but Blood and Sand's going to go for it. AJ, as you choke.
Yeah, Blood and Sand just went up the inside of Lee Nell while Lee Nell's fiddling about with getting in front of Zippo. Ooh, and Lee Nell nearly crashing into the back of Blood and Sand there. That was very close.
Farfborough has passed Wide Low Billy once more. These two are going to start battling even more. Right now, on lap since, Vanquish is leading by 5 seconds ahead of the Pirate, who is 5 seconds ahead of Diabouche. It seems that Spain is just a track that suits the Pirate a lot more, obviously suiting more drivers in the street circuits that we went to last week at Baku.
Yeah, Vanquish doing very well at the minute, just checking out 5.5 seconds ahead, just keeping his tyres under control, and just monitoring from the front. Very good driving from him.
Just cut onto the visual side of Ice Bowl, and he just was completely up in Lee Nell's business in the back end. But it seems that Lee Nell has managed to defend the position. Lee is going to pull into the pit lane with such style. He pulls into the pit lane after drifting. Sector 2 and 3, is that Lee? No, it's not. That's someone else. That's further back. Is that Racing Porch by any chance? No, it's not. Don't know what's happening here though. Lots of drivers.
I'm not sure either. I can't see anything.
No, it seemed to. It was just a brief moment where someone spam managed to correct it. But Lee Nell has dropped to P11 now after Gaming Things has pitted. So it seems that strategy, the soft tyres, has struggled. And look at that, Jade and Gamey, who were running the soft tyres. Gamey's gone on to the medium tyres. Jade's gone on to the soft. So she is 2 stopping tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lee Nell just changing his front wings there after knocking off the back of Zippo. He's just lost all the positions, so you'll have to make back up again.
He'll have some serious speed though.
On the outside of turn 2.
Ah, Lee.
That's what we're doing any good.
Now, can we blame that on the Honda power having too much power than what he's used to? He was driving a McLaren last year. Oh wait, that still had the Honda engine. Oops.
Yeah.
So Jade with the first 5-second penalty of the night, 3-second penalty of the night. Won't be the last though. We will have a look at the chat in a moment, as we are going to run through the grid any second now, after I've worked out why everything's going nuts.
Right up behind the back of Diabouche. He's got DRS as well. Wing wide open. Is Di going to defend? He's going to start to pull to the inside, but doesn't think about it. Braking late. Ooh, clash of tyres into the first corner. And Di's going to hold on to the first position through the long right-hander. Di's still going out to the outside. He's running all the way out. As he just gifted Fretton the position. He's still going after him. Di, just keep going. Determination wins through, but Fretton getting the position of him.
It definitely was, and that, you know, it made me a little heart twinge there, seeing a McLaren pass a Ferrari, something we've not seen in recent times in Formula 1, but it seems that the Ferrari's coming back. So the battle of the 2 oldest teams in Formula 1 with 2 very different drivers, the Belgian versus the Welshman. Look at Di. Di seems that he's all right in that car, doesn't he? he seems that he's happy with how the tyres are, so he's dropped back just a bit.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's going for the longer strategy with the 7 laps that he's done on those tyres. He's just made himself, got himself up to 4th, and now he's just kind of shutting up shop up there for the time being, and he'll just wait until everybody else pits, make the most of it, and switch to the soft tyres, and he's going to have a very good end to his race.
Alright then, so we're going to do a quick rundown on the grid here on lap 9 out of 33. There's Vanquish in P1 as he has been by 7 seconds ahead of the Pirate in P2. Then Threaten in P3 ahead of Diabouche, though we're not sure how long for, in P4. Farfra in P5 from the literal back of the grid. He's having a good time tonight. He's really scoring points for Red Bull no matter what. And Zippo in P6. He's having a good time himself after making contact with his teammate. Blood and Sands in P7 is having well, he seems to be having a good race. He seems to have had a few battles himself ahead of Gamey Things, who started on the front row, but on the wrong strategy has sort of dropped him down quite a margin. Then there is Widelow Billy in P9. He's having a fun time, just having a good battle, as Lee Nell is now the fastest man on track. Then there is Jade Rios in P10. She's having a good race. P10 is where you want to be to score points. As I apologise, I've left my notifications on once more. Icebolt, in the newly crowned Mercedes driver, is in P11 ahead of Smelly Badger in P12, Sig in P13, Lee Nell, who's the fastest man on track, in P14, and Racing Pod, who has had a fair few issues, in P15 and has been lapped already. Oh, there we go. Everyone's pretty shred out now, so we're going to sit on board with Elevator Zippo. Go on there.
Yeah, no, everybody seems to be a bit more spread out now, which is good for them, but bad for us. But yeah, hopefully someone will find some pace forward somewhere else soon. Split strategies everywhere down the board between soft and medium at the minute, which is very interesting.
It definitely is, and Racing Podge has been given a 10-second stop-go penalty for exceeding the track limits. I can see why he's letting drivers through, but in the wrong way. He may be in the pit lane in the market to retire from the race. I think he's had enough, you know.
Yeah, sometimes that just happens, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll keep going.
We shall see. He's done 5 laps on these medium tyres, it says. No, he's in the pit lane, so he's actually spending time in there. That penalty will, I don't know, that's arguably to the stewards, whoever it'll be. No, he has left for session. That is enough. You should have retired your car first, so now we're going to have a ghost running around the track. That is not helpful. But anyway, in reference, we have the championship leader, T. Jonas, in the chat now. No one is in the Sauber as a reserve tonight, mate, so your team isn't getting much time. Jade is in it just because she joined us late, and sporting her nice pink helmet is showing what team she's really in. So anyway, look at that. We're going to go, we're at the portion of the race where everyone's pretty spread out. Fretton is coming into pit, so we'll have a look at him. While we're here, I said that when we next got a choice, we would be talking about the US Grand Prix, the actual Formula 1 race, which is coming up this weekend. So, it seems to be a little bit wet there right now.
Yeah, well, it always makes for an exciting race whenever it's wet, but yeah, Lewis loves that track, so I can't see him losing out to anybody else, especially if it's got a bit of water on the track.
Definitely, he is the not the self-proclaimed, the media-proclaimed king of COTA, because he seems to always win there. He's won 5 out of the last 6 Grand Prix there, the only 6 Grand Prix ran at COTA itself. Something I found interesting though, but something I'm going to bring up that isn't. Well, it is Formula 1 related, but at the same time it isn't. Look at that, Icebox come out the pit lane right in front of Jade, and Jade's just back end, Jade's DRS, what's it called, front end, downforce is gone, as I remember every word about racing possible. It was something to do with Formula 1, but also, oh no, Jade's got it all wrong! Oh, that was running on the grass there, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's alright though, because she has not passed him, so everything's fine though, except for that big slide for the Sauber driver, who is actually a Force India driver. This gets very confusing. Oh, she's got it even more wrong, but she's alright. She held that very well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I thought she lost it going through that long right-hander there.
I think she did too by the side of that braking point. as I try and compose myself. No, what I want to talk about was Stoffel Van Dorn. Now, if you don't know Van Dorn, then you don't know me. I like Stoffel, but at the same time, he's annoying. He's not a Formula 1 driver anymore. He has actually been signed by HWA Formula E, which is the mask that Mercedes are wearing to peek out at the electric cars. Now, right now in Formula E, they're doing the pre-season testing. Obviously, Sector 1, yellow flags, not sure who that is. I think that's Gamey Things. Yeah, Gamey's had a big spin, a big contact, though, because he's lost part of his front wing. Oh, he's hit the wall back there. So he's lost it pretty heavily.
Definitely. And
whoa!
Yeah, lighting up those rear tyres is never a good thing, especially on a track like this. That's going to be very hard for him to get back into his rhythm there.
Definitely is. But the question is right now, Stoffel, I think, has already left for USA now from Valencia, as Billy gets a 3-second time penalty. He's going to have gone from driving a Formula E car with arguably more power than the Formula 1 McLaren that they're running. Oh, Smelly Badger gets it all wrong. He's trying to pass Gamey at an inopportune moment. Vanquish is finally into the pit lane onto medium tyres. But, as you see, that... Stoffel has gone from Valencia in the Formula E car to the McLaren of Formula 1. How do you think that's going to affect him this Grand Prix?
I think it'll be difficult for him. I think he's suffered next to Alonso all year, which is unfortunate because of the fact that Alonso is such a good driver, even at his ripe old age. But yeah, I hope he does well in Formula E, because of the fact that it is a bit unlucky to see him not do so well in the McLaren, not be able to be competitive with Fernando, because of the fact that he's a driver coming into Formula 1. So if he could thrive in something else other than Formula 1, then I really hope he does, because he is a very good driver.
He definitely is, and to be honest, at least he made it to Formula 1. While we were talking there, Blood and Sands has made a move on Sig for P11, doing it for absolute peanuts there, but yet he's still going for it like a driver should. No matter what position you're in, you could pick up points due to penalties, who knows. But yeah, see, I like Formula E quite a lot. It's my Formula E, IndyCar and Formula 1 are my go-to series in motor racing. I like World Endurance, but after marshalling it, I just don't like it as much. It's one of those series which are great fun, but as a marshal now, I think about, because the cars are electrified, they always have to wear what are known as, what are they known as? They're known as, they're called Kerr's gloves, and they're essentially glorified rubber gloves. They're huge, they're thick, and they're horrible, and I was wearing nail varnish when I put them on for the first time. Not joking, it melted the nail varnish off.
Oh, that's not good.
To be honest, it was July. When was it? August? Yeah, it was... when was World Endurance at Silverstone?
Oh god, you're throwing me back a bit now. Yeah, I think it was August.
Yeah, August time, when it was beautifully hot, but also not very nice. I think I've got permanent scars on my face from the marshalling I've been doing recently. It's been pretty hot, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's all for safety though, things like that. But yeah,
it definitely is.
If nothing happens and you sat there wearing them for the whole race, then yeah, that's not the most amazing thing.
Yeah, right, now I'll go back onto that after Lee Nell attempts to pass Farfborough for P12. Lee Nell, who's had a tough race after breaking his front wing, he's going to try at the corner where I made a good move on someone when I drove in my Red Bull days, but it didn't happen. Sector 1, there's a yellow flag. I'm not sure who that is.
You know, almost just losing it coming out of turn 5, I believe that is. But yeah, Farfborough seems to have held it together, just coming out the pit lane onto those fresh medium tyres. And we'll push on, I think.
Definitely is. What is the yellow flag in Sector 1? What is happening up there? And Sector 1 and 3, what is happening?
Jade lost it.
Oh no!
I think that's a separate issue, but yeah, Jade has lost it.
No damage on that front wing though. That is at a corner which is actually very difficult in this game. I found, at least. Look at that, it's affected it all the way through. She should pull into pit lane with her tyres cooked. It's difficult to... look at Farfborough! Look at Farfborough! Absolutely destroying Sig along the straight. He's going to use that momentum all the way down, goes around the outside of the Force India driver who's driving a Sauber car. Here comes Sig down the inside of both of them, but he doesn't make it stick. He thinks, no, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, Jade just shutting the door on him there. I think losing one place is enough for the time being.
Whoa! Aggressive moving Sig as he gets snapped off the track. Here comes Linel. Toro Rosso Honda going, you can have the Renault engine. You think it's quicker? Look at mine. Look at that. Lee. Go on.
All ends up into turn 4. Yeah,
definitely is.
Turn 5, he just seems to have completely shown that up.
He's doing fantastically well after that. Meanwhile, his teammate is in P3 now after doing 14 laps on the medium tyres. That's the word.
Yeah, I think the Pirate. Oh well, he has just come out of the pit lane. I don't know whether he's lost it, but he seems to be behind Zippo now. Starting to close in on them though. Pirate getting ever closer to Zippo. But Zippo doing really
Jay's
well.
lost it again! Whoa, no. Jay's tyres are gone. Get in the pits, girl, get some fresh tyres on, and get those medium tyres on. You can go to the end on those.
Yeah, Zippo and Dye both doing really well. 15 laps in, and they're not far off the lead.
Whoa, there's the Pirate down the inside! Pirate down the inside of Zippo. Zippo holding it very well. Zippo going, no, try again. And the Pirate he's trying it down the inside. The Pirate has pulled out the move though just a bit, and he's done very well to avoid big contact there. That could have ended in tears as Jade pulls into pit lane, I assume to strap on a new set of tyres because she cooked her old ones.
Yeah, Zippo doing really well to just defend, but not making it too difficult for the Pirate if he does end up trying to get a dive bomb down the inside.
It is obviously the most inopportune moment is into turn 1, much like a Danny Rick dive bomb. In Italy, you'd see that more often, but here is not Italy. We're in Spain, totally different country, same continent though.
Yeah, no, it looks like the Pirate is overcooking it out of the last couple of corners. He's got DRS, but he's a long way off the back of Zippo. Zippo just with the constant just ability to keep it consistent, and Pirate can't find a way past yet.
No, he can't, and the Pirate on these fresh tyres seems to be doing well, but remember, Zippo does still have to stop on these tyres.
Yeah, and Zippo can bolt on a fresh set of soft tyres and go to the end, so he's going to be very racy towards the end of the race.
Here comes a song, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Blue Flag song. Everybody sing. There it is. The Blue Flag song has made its way past, and Gamey Things has been very good. Here's Threaten, who will be the next driver to get past Gamey. And obviously, that didn't hold up the guys too much through that corner, did it?
No, not at all.
Oh, Gamey's got wide, though.
It looks like Pirate's got a bit of a better run going down into the hairpin, but Zippo just holding the inside line, going as slow as possible through the hairpin to just ruin the Pirates' momentum.
It seems the Pirate it seems Zippo's got some incredible speed on the straights, but on the corners he seems to struggle just that little bit more in the long corners. That might also be down to the grip he's losing from his tyres, but look, the Pirate has got to attack and defend from Threaten now, who's a little bit further back.
Yeah, definitely. I think Zippo just being conservative on those tyres. Unfortunately, he's going to get pipped down the straight, I believe.
Yeah,
but,
just a bit.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job.
Oh no!
17 laps in.
Gamey Things is out of this Grand Prix, and that I don't think is big enough to let out a safety car. Who's in sector 3. I'm not sure what happened there. He might have been in the pit lane, you know. He's left for session. Well, I wouldn't say in a mood, but to tell you what, down in the mood is Farfra, who's in a mood to pass the Red Bull 2 number 15s, their actual teammates. And look at that, Farfra knowing where to push and where not to push. And 2 seconds back is Lee Nell, who's still pushing.
Just losing the back end. Blendensimon's coming back at him. I think he's just kept the move stuck though. But yeah, losing all ends of back ends through the second corner there.
Here is Threaten trying to get past Zippo. He's going down for a Danny Rick dive bomb. He's done it. Oh, he's overcooked it by quite a margin. And Zippo's going to go, thank you. I'll have that position back.
Yeah, that was very deep. Unfortunately, he just seemed to not be able to put the brakes on. Maybe he got a bit of a brake failure or overheating the brakes just a little bit there. But yeah, he's going to have to find another move past him. That one definitely didn't work.
No, it didn't, but he'll still have the pace over the speed now. No, he won't, because Zippo's going, yeah, you know what? I've had enough of these tyres.
Yeah, return to the pit lane now, hopefully bolting on some soft tyres to the end of the race. Hasn't got far to go. Another 14 laps?
Yeah, not long at all, and as you can see, some drivers already doing a lot of that. Diabush should be the next driver into the pit lane. He's the only driver not to have stopped as of yet.
Looks like Zippo is going to come out into 9th, possibly.
No, I think 7th is
Farfra
just fine.
Going to get past him? No, he stays in front of Farfra.
That's
and
crucial.
Tires as well.
That is crucial.
Yeah, definitely.
The Haas driver, who is actually a Red Bull driver, seems to be having a good laugh tonight, having to work through the field.
No, he can definitely do that. Keep on going on those soft tyres all the way to the end. He should be faster than Farfra. But we'll see.
He should be.
It'll be a good battle.
But I tell you who else is going to have a good battle. Look who's up in P2 having a battle. Diabush has just knocked the absolute wind out of the sails of the Pirate. I've been waiting to make that joke for all night. Is the Pirate going to try and steal away the position from Diabush? I really need to stop. Excuse me while I indulge myself in the corner. So Farfra has passed Zippo in the hairpin where I didn't think anyone could pass. It might have been a bit of a body slam, and that might go to stewards. I'm not too sure. It seemed like the two of them seemed to struggle, but here comes the Pirate. He's attempting to steal the position back for the Ferrari driver. Can't say it without laughing. And but he has been knocked out just a bit. Here's Threaten once more. He's back involved too.
Yep. I don't want to make any jokes. But yeah, no, Dai's one of the best defenders in this league, definitely, and he's just keeping the inside line, keeping that car as wide as possible. And Pirate is just going to get frustrated. He just can't seem to get a pass down.
Definitely can't. In all of this, Blood and Sands has been passed for P9, and Zippo's back up there. Where are we? Threaten is the man who is going to be getting the big double toe, but he seems to be struggling as well. Here comes the Pirate. Diabush moving one way, moving the other, but he decides that's enough. Oh, I've got a joke all lined up if the Pirate does ever pass him.
Threaten just joining the back of the queue, and you'll see whether either of them can get past Dai.
Yeah, Dai has got a pit though. He's done 20 laps on these tyres, and look at that. He's stopping every apex. So he just doesn't have the grip, and there it goes. Yeah. So, I guess that was an alright move. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah. The Threaten got DRS back down the straight, but so is the Pirate off the back of Dai, and he can't make any sort of move yet.
It is. I just want to address something in the chat, Gamey. It's absolutely alright, mate. Absolutely alright. There's no grudge held against you. You did an alright job for where you were. Good qualifying, mate. And just push your hardest next week. As always, next week, remember. Meanwhile, here's Invader Zippo passing Farfra. Farfra finally the one to be getting passed after doing 7 laps on those medium tyres. Again, down the inside of the Zippo. The space alien passes Farfra, the bloke.
Yeah, Farfra doing a good job to stay with Zippo, especially with Zippo on the quicker tyres. But yeah, Dai coming out into some clean air, just a couple of seconds in front of Zippo.
Oh, I'll tell you what's happened. Lee Nell's had a pit again. So that is gone all wrong for the Toro Rosso driver. But I tell you what, if you're old enough to remember Invader Zippo, not this Invader Zippo, the actual cartoon, then really, we've got some problems because we're all old now.
Okay, I didn't know that it was a thing. I thought it was just a random name.
Yeah, I'll ask you about it later as a cartoon and a comic book back in the 90s. Still, Threaten is just over a second behind Pirate, so the Pirate has been having a good time. Farfra getting a little penalty, cheeky little penalty as he tries to follow on the back of that comic book character Zippo, who is having a good time himself.
Yeah, just skipping over the corner just after the hairpin there.
Whoa!
All out of shape now, coming out the chicane there.
Yeah, and in all of this, look who's in the pits is Iceball going for a set of super soft tyres. So he's going for, you know what, I'm going for the 10 laps. That's a stretch, isn't it?
It's quite a while.
And Farfra again running closer to the white line. He seems to be struggling to keep it on track. It seems the Haas car is such a change to his normal Red Bull car, turning up late to the race and just jumping in the first car he sees, which is a Haas. I'm sure Gene Haas had a few words with him, but you know, who cares? It's still making the Haas team look good. What we got here?
Yeah,
Well,
up behind the Pirate, but he's going to have to make another stop. I don't think his tyres are going to last another 10 laps.
oh, Smelly Badger. I think he's lost it in sector 1. Yeah, he has. Oh, that's unfortunate. Renault just not having a good day today, are they?
No, Sigurd coming up behind, but I think he'll keep the position that he's got. But those tyres are going to start to overheat now. He's going to have to control the temperature and loses it again. Going to the barrier.
What happened there? I'm going to look at my little Rico camera. It seemed to... Did he lock... I don't know what happened there.
I think he lost the front end, or maybe the back end, on the grass on the inside. And then because of that happening, he then the car that ended up kicking the other way and spitting him out the other side.
It's a big shock for me.
Jade with a massive power slide going up through the gears.
Just a message from Championship leader T. Jonas. He's saying that he feels bad because he's not racing tonight. Yeah, you go off and you sip your alcoholic drinks or whatever you're doing on holiday. We're going to sit here and watch racing cars go round. Anyway, the Pirate is still in P2. I've got a butt ton of Pirate jokes now, all lined up for if anything else happens with him in the race. As long as that's alright with you.
Alright. Is he going to be getting the Jolly Roger out soon?
You thought David Croft was bad, guys. Imagine if they hired me.
Yeah.
Oh, he's at a training camp. Smelly Badger with a 5-second stop and go penalty. Yeah, it's not going his way tonight, is it? Smelly Badger retired from the session. That's alright. So both Renaults are out of this race. They're racing project here. Lap 24. Why don't we have Zippo take us through the grid tonight?
I'm sorry, what?
Zippo, what the... Sorry, I'm so used to talking to Zippo myself. I'm looking at him on screen. I'm talking to AJ, aren't I? Oh, this is a blonde moment. Billy's in the pit lane. I'm going to try and just talk as much as I can right now. As you see Farfra in the DRS zone passing Zippo. I got one of them right.
Yeah, no, he seems to have had clean pass with the DRS.
Not anymore!
But he gets it all kinds of wrong through T2. And
Trip to the pit lane. Trip to the pit lane with that broken wing.
Yeah. With a solid 5th place at the minute, which is very good.
Very good, and his teammates.
Would you like me to take you through the grid, JB?
Yes, please. I'm having a moment. I'm going to do this all over again. Remember?
No problem, mate. Absolutely. So Vanquish is in the lead by almost 20 seconds over the Pirate on the medium tyres, doing very well at the front. Pirate is in 2nd place. Just behind him is Fretton in 3rd on the soft tyres. He's going to have to pit again at some point though, I think. Dye in 4th, just running his own race. 21 seconds behind Fretton, but he's got plenty of pace on those soft tyres now. Zippo just a little bit behind him in 5th. Blood and Sand in 6th. Icebolt in 7th. Farfra behind him in 8th, just after having that spin, moving all the way down from 6th. Then Wide Load Billy not far behind him, he's starting to close in on the back of him. Lean out right behind Wide Load Billy, that's going to be an interesting battle. 11th is Sigurd, 12th is Jade, and 14th, but going around with a ghost, is Racing Podge.
Yeah, Racing Podge, even if he gets into points tonight, which seems unlikely, he will not be scoring any points. Something I just want to bring up now, on stream we've been watching the battle between Lee and Billy, and it seems that Billy has been cutting that corner quite significantly for the past few laps. I think that might be investigated by the stewards due to the fact that he is, it seems to be gaining an advantage from it, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Farfra, just to add to his woes as
well,
no! 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Yeah, well, even worse trouble is that Jade's had a spin again at that same point of the track. It seems that she's hitting the curve too hard and the tyres are cooked. And she almost collected the Pirate in the fingers. Threaten, you were right, pulls into the pit lane. But yeah, so Threaten's in the pit lane.
Out.
What was that?
I think that'll be an interesting battle. We'll see where he comes out. I think it'll be an interesting battle with Zippo. 5th place or 4th place. So.
Where is he now? Because he's just been serviced now. Just been serviced. Dyer's only just coming down the start-finish straight.
Maybe it's going to be Dyer that he's going to battle with.
Farfra's left the session.
Back out. so he retains his third position.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's all she wrote for the podium tonight.
Mm.
Unless for all she wrote is a big spin.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Farfra's car for some strange reason. Just sat in the middle of a track, but he's retired tonight. So that is from P11 down, from P12 down. Drivers that aren't hit. His car's been disqualified for parking just for a location, even though he left the session. Not sure what's happening here. This game, Codemasters 2018. Is that Jade? No, it's not Jade. Someone else has had a cover cropper later on in the lap. Sector 2. Who is that? Oh, wait, I think it's just Farfra's car getting restarted. Oh, I don't even want to question anymore with these games. But anyway, so we're on board with Lionel as he's Lionel in his way try and get past Billy, who is used to making his car as wide as possible. That's why his name is Wide Low Billy. He assumes as he's a racing car driver.
Keep an eye on Dye at the minute. Dye and threaten because of the fact that Dye might be falling back at the minute, but it's very easy to overload those super soft tyres. So he might fall back into the clutches of Dye. We'll wait and see.
It definitely is one to look at. And remember, if he spins and cuts and causing himself harm, he's out in trouble. And Dye is still in the way for a podium. Sector 1 and 2, not sure who that is. It looks like it might be a Jade. No, it's not. I feel bad assuming it's Jade all the time. I think that yellow flag is just becoming bogus at this point.
Icebolt just into the pits, getting another set of super soft tyres put on his car.
Yeah, how many stops is that now? Let's have a look at the stops. 3 stops for Icebolt. Seems to be the wrong strategy call from the Mercedes team. They don't normally give you wrong strategy calls, do
they? Yeah. So he's gone all the way back to 9th now. So we'll see what he can do from there.
Sigurd. Oh, Sigurd. Where's that?
It looks like it might have been down the main straight.
Yeah,
the last few corners.
There's yellow flags are gone. I didn't see any evidence of it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, last corner. Yeah.
Ah, seems the Norwegian driver is going to be banging his head against the wall, going, "No, that's not fair." Yellow flags bleating away as Farfra's car comes out of the pit lane again. Not sure why they're so excited on the ghost car. This is why you try and retire in the pit lane, guys, so we don't have the issues with ghosts. And it seems it's playing havoc with our yellow flag systems. Anywho, so lap 28 out of 33. Obviously, tonight, as I haven't had a chance to plug it, tonight we'll be running 2 streams as per normal every Wednesday. We will have the Premier Division coming on straight after this division where my dear friend... What's this?
He's lost it in the wall. T2, he's just lost it in the wall.
Oh,
he's lost part of his front wing, which is really unfortunate. He's been racing so well up to this point. 5 laps to go, and he's just ditched it in the wall. Now Wide Load Billy will come up to the back of him.
See, now this opens up a question. Is it worth pitting, or is it worth trying to slow down Billy for his teammate as Sigurd leaves the session?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting call. I think Lionel is catching Wide Load Billy very quickly.
I think Wide Load Billy is catching Zippo. That's the wrong place to make a pass!
Yeah, Zippo just doesn't have any turn-in speed anymore with the lack of that front wing end plate.
Whoa, look at the speed difference between the Toro Rossos! And Lee has just got an absolute burst of power. The turbo power in that car has just gone, yeah, power.
Yeah, I think Zippo's going to have to come in and stop and change onto some super softs.
Yeah, and where will that put him? That'll put him around what? P9?
Yeah, I'll put him just after P9, I believe.
Still points, though.
So unlucky. So close to the end of the race, and he called the perfect strategy for it as well.
It's just 1 lapse in concentration. That's how hard it is driving these cars this year. This game seems to be such a struggle.
It is, yeah. It's definitely harder than 2017. I think it's the improvement in the carcass of the rear tyres, just so it's so much easier to overcut them, and it's so much harder to
Jade.
make sure that they're handling.
Jade's in the wall once more at the start of the DRS straight. It seems to be a struggle for her as well. Again, not used to the aerodynamics that the Sauber has versus the versus the Force India she's normally driving. But anyway, look at Linnell. He's under a second away from Billy, and that might be down to the fact. Look at that. Billy's tyres are 3 laps younger than his, and either he's made a big mistake or Lee's tyres have just got a resurgence in speed.
Yeah, I think Billy might have just had problems with the tyres, with overheating, with going too quick around all the corners. I think if you've got too high a diff around this track, the tyres are going to light up and heat up very quickly. It's very key to keep that diff down.
It definitely is. So as I was attempting to plug earlier, if you want to join us as Billy finally gets a time penalty for cutting that corner, yeah, I tell you what, that's gained such an advantage there, isn't it? Ice Bolt is now closing in on Blood and Sands. We can only watch one battle at a time and see that Linnell is finally going to get past Billy. He pulls to the inside. He's still on the inside. There's the ghosted car ahead of him and he dives down it, and Billy is just giving away the position quite fairly as well. That seemed to be a good move, but Billy's coming back at him and Linnell going, no, my turn. My turn to be in front, and Billy is left in the dust behind the ghosted car. I just can't get this plug in, can I?
Yeah, look at the speed difference between there. It seems like Linnell's setup is much more geared to the corners and to getting around them much quicker than Billy is. Billy's got much more straight line speed. And so you can just see that through there. He just had no turn in whatsoever.
Tell you what, I vanquished the other Mercedes drivers on his way up to lap these guys. So this is going to get very difficult. The questions of if he's right for this division or not are going to be ripe in everyone's minds as Billy now tries to close in on Lee himself. I'm going to attempt to get this plug in quickly. So later on tonight we're going to be running the Premier Division, which will be in 3. It will be just after this race, after we've done a little outro on this race, and hopefully my dear friend AJ will be joining us for that. I have tied him down in the commentary box, and I've got him on a wheelie chair, so I'll be able to wheel him over to the posh commentary box. Once again, I've just seen Billy cut that corner. That will be investigated by the stewards because I'm not happy about the way he has been taking that final corner. Anywho, yeah, I've got Zippo. Names. I've got AJ on a wheelie chair, and I'm going to wheel him over to the posh commentary box where I'm going to fill him full of alcohol and get him ready to watch the Premier Division go completely nuts. So it will be streamed straight after this. If I can do that plug any faster next week, I want a cookie. See, I don't get paid to do this. Contrary to popular belief, I do not get paid. Sometimes it's not enough. I do want Lee one day, or some of the admins, to send me just a little box of cookies saying, yeah, thank you. Thank you for contributing to the SFR, you loudmouth little twerp. I'm 6'4", so I'm not really little, but you know.
There you go.
Mr. Bentley had to mention that again. You'll hear the door closing in a minute. I don't need to take this abuse.
Yeah. Wide load Billy coming up to the back of Lee now. Coming back at him.
I don't think it's enough though, because we're on the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Lee has, well, he doesn't have the tyre life, but at the same time he's got the speed right now.
Yeah. Through those corners he's just so much slower. Lee just pulling away from him. Unfortunately, I think that is it. I don't think he's going to be able to catch 1.2 seconds in the last lap. Unless
Lee has a dramatic turn at the final lap of this Grand Prix. Now, in all of this, Diabouche has, well, oh yeah, it's been for kittens, isn't it? Look at that. Look at the difference he's got between him and Threaten there. Not exactly there, is he? And there's lots of ways you could have called it in this race, but right now, unarguably, is lap 33 has just begun with this man, Threaten, who's having a good time, but there are blue flags in effect in a moment. Who is he coming up to pass? I believe that, you know what, who is that? That's a Red Bull, so that is Blood and Sands. Yeah, so blue flags will be in effect, and we're going to see how Blood and Sands takes the blue flags. They'll be, there they are, the blue flag song has begun. Get out the way as he tries to race, but obviously, if Blood feels he's quicker, which right off that corner he is, he doesn't have any obligation to let him through, right up until essentially Vanquish is sat on his backside going, get out the way, get out the way! But he has got out the way.
Lovely to see Mercedes in P1 right now.
It definitely is, but not... Yeah, and continuing on, it was a Mercedes, the last Mercedes winner in this league was Yuzi himself before his departure and parting ways with the league, but Vanquish is becoming a new winner in this season of SFR, coming through the final little corners now. nailing that little apex the right way, coming round the final corner. And he would open DRS, but he can't do it, and he crosses the line. He is a winner in SpeedForce Racing. The Dutch driver is another winner. Lots of Dutch winners in SFR now. But look at that.
Also doing very well. Very good strategy from him.
Yeah, the man, the Greek driver who is about to make history in SFR, to be the first Greek driver on the podium. There he is, car number 15, one of 3 cars at number 15 on the grid, and he's doing fantastic. And there's Threaten, the Dutch driver, the Belgian driver who is coming around, who's done an opportune strategy on 7 laps on those super soft tyres, seems to be having a good time. Crosses the line now. So McLaren, Williams and Mercedes on the podium today. Ibush, the next guy there.
Yeah, Dye coming from a long way back. Choosing to start on the mediums seems to be a stroke of genius for him. And carrying on to the soft tyres. Well deserved 4th place from him.
Like Lee now catching up too. And Billy, who just didn't have the pace to catch up to him at the end. There's Icepol, who's to be the final guy to finish the lap. Jade is the final point scorer in P10. And we're on board with that now. Zippo has put a message in chat saying, "You can't believe I lost it." Well, at least you still got points, mate. But there he is, our winner, the Dutch driver of Vanquish. And he is in a good mood. He'll be absolutely flying tonight. Be absolutely flying, and he'll be in a good mood. And there it is, Mercedes on the podium ahead of Williams and ahead of McLaren.
Yeah, very well controlled drive. Never had a doubt in my mind that he was going to be able to win it as soon as he started to pull away from 2nd position, further closer to the start. But yeah, no, very good drive from him, very consistent.
And there he is, folks. Vanquish in P1 ahead of Pirate in P2. Threaten in P3 and Daibush in P4. Lee Nowell in P5. Billy in P6. Bolt in P7. Sands in P8. Zippo in P9. And Jade in P10. So, there we go. It seems that everyone has had a good race tonight. Not many penalties, and I'm not sure what will be happening. Obviously, this is only what we've got so far to talk about. The stewards will investigate some issues, obviously. But all in all, that was a pretty good race, wasn't it, AJ?
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good fun things happen. A lot of people losing on several corners. I think Spain is known for being a power-hungry track and a tyre-hungry track as well. So yeah, it's just a case of watching your tyre wear and watching the carcass go up in temperature and making sure that you control that, because the fact that it is very easy to lose the back end here, especially when your tyres start to overheat.
It definitely is. But tonight we are not done in SpeedForce Racing, as in a few minutes we will be heading over to the Premier Division. The Premier drivers are getting suited and booted right now and getting ready to get into their cars. They'll be handed over. Obviously, the cars are being repaired by the mechanics. So, if you're not going to join us for Prem, I'll see you next week. We're heading to Monaco next week, the big jewel in the crown. Definitely looking forward to Monaco. Always one to watch. Thank you, AJ, for joining us for GP2. I assume he says thank you because he might have muted his mic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on, mate.
I didn't realise that was... My bad, I didn't realise that was... Sorry, what did you say?
I said thank you for joining us for GP2.
oh, no problem. Absolutely, my pleasure.
See, the cough medicine's gone to Mr. Bentley's head.
Yeah, I know. You didn't call me Mr. Bentley, I don't think.
Anyway,
I didn't hear
so
you.
It's good night from me, and I'll see you in a few minutes for Premier Division. Night, guys.